Hello everyone, this is Scott and John back again for the Mercenary Miniature Painter YouTube channel, and we have got another continuation of our campaign tonight, and it's a bit of a big one because although it doesn't involve either of our main forces, it does have two rogue armies that are both on their final strike, so whoever loses today...
That's the main reason we played it, really, wasn't it? Because we could have vetoed this one, but we thought we'd better give them both a fair shake.
Yeah, so we've got Empire versus Bretonnians, so they've sort of clashed a couple of times now. And obviously Empire have had a few in a row. So my first instinct was to skip. But then when John pointed out that if we rolled off, whoever lost would be out, it felt like, I think like the Empire probably been the most fun.
Well, the Empire have lost a roll-off, so they have only technically lost one game as well. And like I said, they've been a pretty good story to it. Yeah.
So yeah, but to freshen things up, so John doesn't actually have Bretts of his own, so he's using my Bretonnians.
Taking a leaf out of your book.
Yeah, as I've been using a fair few of John's units. I've still got a couple in the army tonight. So yeah, we just thought we'd try and make interesting lists and give a bit of a send off to one of the participants. So we're playing the ancient artifact scenario tonight. So we have done it before. If anyone doesn't remember, it's just you have an artifact in the middle. You've got a diagonal deployment where we're 18 inches apart, which is pretty scary when I've got this many 16-inch movement cavalry looking at me, so it should get bloody quickly. I can't rely too much on shooting you. Yeah, whoever gets the artifact, it's 400 points. Is that right?
Yeah, mate. There's tokens at the end of each person's turn from turn 2.
Yeah.
So, and whoever's got the most tokens at the end of the game gets the 400 extra points. Standard, generals, banners, and all that count as well. Obviously, as we said before, no table quarters.
Lovely. So we will show you the armies and the deployments, and then we will get on with it.
Tonight, for my first ever Bretonian list I've drawn up with obviously Scott's models, I have got 6 Realm Knights here, full command.
Yep.
5 Yeomen with a musician, mounted yeoman rather. 9 Errant Knights with full command. 3 Pegasus Knights with just the champ that you get free. Character squad, we have got the damsel here. She's just a level 1 on beast. She got the Oxen Stands, or I changed it to the Oxen Stands. We have my Lord is on a Royal Pegasus tonight, so Guilliame is there in the skies. We have a Paladin with the Grail Vow, and Scott forgot his Grail Knight, so we've just got a medley of what was left over. But there is 7 Grail Knights with him. And then we have the BSB in with the other 6 Realm Knights to finish up the core. They are full command. And then we have 5 Questing Knights again with full command. And that is 2,000 points on the nose of Brett's.
For the Empire tonight, start off, I've got 5 Huntsmen here. They didn't have anywhere nice to scout, so they're just kind of wasted up on the flank here. Everyone's favourite Mad Dog Count, the old Johan Selbei. He's on his Griffin again, hoping that this is not his swan song and he's going to live to fight another day, but we shall see. There's a Fire Wizard in this unit of militia here who are the detachment for the swordsman alongside 5 handgunners. My wizard, this one has got the Fireball and
you got Fireball and Conflagration, or Fireball and Burning Head.
He's got Burning Head. And then I've got 24 Spearmen, full command. They've got 10 militia themselves and 5 handgunners. I've had a bit of a struggle with my deployment just because there's a big hill over there.
They got the Griffin banner in with them?
John's got... Oh, we shall see. What else have we got? I've got a cannon, got a Heavens Wizard who's got second sign in Fort Lightning. I've got 10 handgunners. There's a cannon here, a cannon there. I've got a Dogs of War Giant, just because I like to throw in a random one. And Johan smashed some orcs last week, although that was me controlling the orcs, so nothing I can be proud of. But he's clearly thought it prudent to enslave their giant and bring it along with
After that chariot ran him down, maybe the giant picked him up and took him as a friend, so he hired him along.
Johan's decided that this giant's actually he's sworn allegiance to the emperor, so he's all right. The customary 5 Pistoliers over here, and I've got another Fire Wizard. He's got Conflagration of Doom and Fireball. So that is 2,000 points of Empire, and I'll just show you the whole deployment now. There we are, the Brets and Empire facing off. The artifact is there in the middle, just by a pond. Imagine it's got some significance to the Lady in the Lake. That's why the Bretonnians are gathered around it. And the Empire, they're just throwing their weight around on the map now. They just want to get rid of any challenge to their possible rule in the Border Princes. So they're going for it. And we shall just quickly now roll off. Or are you going to?
I was half tempted to. Chance to roll off, but no, I better have that 5 upwards, I think.
So John will be praying to the lady, which is fair enough.
Good luck, sir.
Good luck indeed.
Left-handed shake, right-handed.
Oh, put down your cup of tea. All right, everyone. So enjoy that one, and we'll be back with turn 1 Empire. Empire turn 1, and I'm pretty happy with that turn, to be honest. So my Pistoliers have come up over here. Did sort of feel tempted to threaten this flank, but there's too many things that could chase them. I don't want them running this early. Last time I took them, they ended up running turn 1 and didn't come back. So being a bit more conservative this time. Over here, the Spearmen have gone up to try and get that central objective, even if it does mean that they might be taking a charge. Swordsmen coming up behind to support. They've left their detachments here on the flanks to just sort of cover if this all went pear-shaped. But it looks like it's gone pretty well because Johan charged the unit of Realm Knights that were over here. They did pass their terror test and they opted to stay. In the magic phase, this guy here has got the Wizard's Staff, which allows him to roll an extra dice. So he rolled 4 dice on Conflagration of Doom against the Grail Knights. I rolled Irresistible Force. And then it didn't continue, as that spell can keep going. So we rolled off, and it only happened once. But I did 3 wounds right off the bat. John failed 3 armor saves and 3 ward saves, and so that's 3 Grail Knights down, which is quite nice for me. And then this guy here did a Fort Lightning onto the Pegasus Knights and did, I think, 2 wounds, and John saved 1.
Saved 1.
So they've just taken a wound over there. And then in the shooting phase, the cannon fired straight down the middle at the unit of yeomen that were over here. I fired a little bit long with the artillery dice adding to the range, but it did still kill 2 of them, which was nice. And then the huntsman plinked off. Oh, no, it wasn't the huntsman. Sorry, it was these guys. Plinked off another 1. And then they fled. And then this cannon here fired down the line at these guys and did 1 wound. Oh no, you saved that one. That was actually one of the things.
Yeah, the cannon I saved.
Saved the cannonball. But then unfortunately for John, these handgunners here, all but 1 could draw bead on them, and they've shaved off another 3 of them. Again, John failed all 3 ward saves as well as his armor saves. So the lady is not smiling on him at the moment. It's all those French insults he's thrown about when I play as them.
Yeah, I wish I would have picked the Empire now. I manually rolled off, so I didn't have a choice. But
and then in the combat, Johan is he's done himself proud. So he's got the Rune Fangs. He instantly did 3 wounds to the Realm Knights, slaughtered the front rank, which was lucky because his Griffin did nothing. And then John's champion's horse did kick the Griffin in the face and took a wound off before they promptly fled off the board, but he's managed to restrain, and he's
Johan restraining. I don't think I've ever heard those 2 words in a sentence.
He's sort of frothing a little bit.
I think that chariot mowing him down last week seeded a little bit of doubt in the back of his head, man.
He's got a crack on his head still. Right, but that's it. So going fairly well. John's got to pull something off to swing this back around. Although I have said to him, he's already given me that this is going to be a short game, but usually when we say that, it ends up being nailed by
that's a lot of knights dead for 1 turn. But
I love throwing away a victory in the last 2 turns. So
you do that.
Right, on to Brett's.
I think my call is going to be a quick game was pretty apt tonight because I think my turn was worse to me than what your turn was. So, Charges to declare. The errant knights went in against the militia because I knew they're probably going to get griffin bannered and flanked otherwise by the militia. So they went in there. The Pegasus knights went into the pistoliers, and the BSB's unit went in against El Gigante. They did pass a terror test. Scott held, standing shot, and fled. So these have ended up here. The standing shoot, he did kill one of the Pegasuses with 1 wound, and they panicked and ran away, even though the general was right there. But hey ho.
11, didn't you? I think.
Yeah, rolled an 11. They ran 12 away. They said they passed terror, and then these guys, the Grail Knights, the remnants of the Grail Knights, moved up to there. Question Knights moved up to there. And I just thought how bad it started. The general's just going to come up on the hill. He's either going to get cannonballed or he's going to try and win the game, one or the other. We'll see what happens. Magic phase, I tried doing an Oxen stands to get these back, but Scott comfortably stopped it. And then in the combats, I only done 3 wounds to the giant, although I hit with all my knights and bar 1 horse, and then rolled barely any wounds. So I only done 3 wounds to him, and then he's at my BSB. That pretty much, he lost the combat by loads, but he's stubborn. But that just about sums up how this has gone. Let's get Guilliame out the campaign as quickly as possible. He's going to cannonball to the face and he's going to be out. But over to Empire at turn 2.
Turn to Empire, and
do you want to call it in re-rack?
John's not feeling it tonight. The power of the lady is not coursing through his veins. All right.
The power of the lady of the night, I think I got.
I don't think I did any charges. Nothing to charge. So the militia didn't rally. They're running still. These have gone up and claimed that, so I do have 1 point for the objective. I've also forgotten to use my rerolls. I knew I would, but I don't think it's mattered hugely. Pistoliers came up to here. Swordsman came up to block the gap there. Both the lots of detachments here have turned around and started moving back this way. These guys reformed. And my wizard, you might have noticed he was orange and now he's purple. It's because I unceremoniously threw him off the table by accident. And
after he miscast, Scott lost his temper.
I did. I've killed him and replaced him with this guy. But yeah, he's moved back ever so slightly, although he might be in a bit of bother over here. And that was that. Sorry, the count has come up this way. Into the magic phase, I tried a Conflagration of Doom with him again and miscast, so he couldn't cast any more spells and wasted 4 of my dice. Then I got a second sign-off, which, as I just said, I forgot to use anyway, so waste of time. And then I failed to cast Fort Lightning. Shooting. This cannon here was...
he hit him.
Was bang on him, but the blessing of the lady did actually save his life. So he rolled a 5 for his ward save, and he has survived. Otherwise, he would have 5 wounds and been blasted off the Pegasus. This one... Did it hit
Brown
anything?
Knight's miles short.
Yeah, it was this one. The bounce misfired, so it just ended up in the mud over here somewhere. It wasn't a bad guess, but it would have gone 20, and if I could have got a 4 or 5 on the bounce, I would have been all right. But alas, no. But I won't complain, because then these handgunners absolutely shredded the Grail Knights over here. John failed every single one of his armor saves and ward saves. No, sorry, you passed one ward save, which has kept the unit from being completely wiped out. I think I had about 5 hits. So yeah, not too bad from them. And then the Pistoliers followed up and got 2 errants and caused them to flee, which is a nice job, seeing as they were hitting on 6s as well, which was lovely. And that was my shooting. And then into the combat, John failed to do anything to the giant, and then he used his club and smashed them to pieces, and they ran away. He then failed a panic test with this guy. Luckily for John, he has given him the questing vow, so he didn't go straight off the table, and he's re-rolled and he's stuck around. But he does have a terror test now, so given John's luck,
I imagine he will be gone. Yeah.
It might all be bad luck. The Grail Knights over here, they are immune to psych, so they're all fine. But yeah, it's not looking so hot for the Bretonnians. Do you want to do your terror test on camera just so if John does smash up my models in a fit of rage when I've got evidence of it on camera? No, he's all right.
I think that's the first one past tonight, isn't it?
I think you passed your terror test actually when you charged him in the first place. That was maybe
the only other one. That was a bad mistake.
All right, we'll do Bretonnians turn 2. That turn was so short we didn't even put the music on again.
No, because we'd have to turn it back off again. I didn't need the music unless it's like Radiohead or something pretty depressing. I might be able to have it on then, but now charges there were 3, and rallies we did rally both of our units. Luckily, these boys are about to get mulched now. Grail Knights into the handgunners over there. Oh, there'll be a few panic checks because they weren't. Which is quite nice. Question Knight into the cannon, and then old matey boy on the hill went into the wizard, and we finally killed a model. Sadly, it was my own model because Scott destroyed his own wizard. But combats, we killed the wizard, and that was our turn. So we got hope for a few panics here and there, maybe a bit of luck.
We're still on camera, so
let's try and make a game of it.
Right, me wizard. He's panicking, and these here, they're panicking. The cannon crew, there's 4 in it for fleeing.
Yeah, I think that was out of 4 in.
All right,
these are going to come this way, I presume.
Yeah, you flee from what you're fleeing from. I'll have to work it out now. Right, we'll come back when I've done all that annoying stuff. But yeah, I did think there was a risk to Cascade of fleeing, but if I didn't flee this unit, then this idiot was standing right behind them, and the Grails have got a hero, and they're immune to psych, so even killing one wouldn't have been enough to panic them, so I just have to take it on the nose now. Turn 3 for the Empire, and I'm obviously starting to get tired, because it wasn't as devastating as previously, but I can't moan too much. Johan did a charge on the Pegasus Knights. They opted to flee, but they didn't go very far, so he caught them and killed them all. And then I had a bunch of stuff panic, as you saw, and unfortunately not a lot of rallies. So these have fled and messed up all my moves over here. The militia over there continued to flee. Annoyingly, the one thing I didn't want to rally did rally, so the cannon crew have rallied here, right in front of old Guilliame there, and I think he's not looking to win the game now. He's just going for spiteful kills of innocent people wandering around the battlefield. This guy's fled directly in the path of the Grails. These guys charged the Grails, thanks to a big wheel, we're nowhere near able to do so. So they have just trailed off over there. Magic phase. This guy is the only one who could cast this turn, and John's got the Banner of Defense, so he gets 3 extra three dispel dice per turn, per spell. So he easily got rid of my first attempt on Fireball, and then I didn't manage to cast Burning Head. Shooting, this thing fell short again. So I think I was like 3 inches short, even with the bounce. So John was spared any damage on that side. I got 4 hits off my archers onto the errants, but John passed all of his saves, and then the Pistoliers, surprisingly this turn, failed to do anything. That's the first turn they haven't killed a bunch of stuff. So yeah, not a lot went my way, but as me and John were just saying, unfortunately for John, I think it might be a bit too little too late for him, but we will see. There's still points on the table.
Still spiteful stuff.
We can see what we can do. So on to John's 3. I told you I'd start screwing it up, John.
Yeah, you were. We were just discussing it then. It was caught between a bit of the devil and the deep blue sea. Probably you should have fled, because if your swordsman would have panicked, that could have been actually really bad. But
explain what happened before.
So the charges were that idiot over there went into 3 cannon crew. The paladin here charged out of the Grail Knight into the wizard that was already fleeing, and these charged into the back of the spearmen. So the wizard obviously had to flee. He didn't flee nowhere near far enough, so he went his full 16, and he did just touch the handgunners who were already fleeing, so they fled even further. Scott opted to hold with the spearmen, which now looks like a bad idea, but
I thought he was out, but he was in easily.
And then this guy, Scott, opted to hold with the cannon crew. He was right next to him, so they were never going to get away anyway, and he'd have just flew over 20. My remaining moves, the Questing Knights have reformed, obviously taken El Gigante. They did pass a terror check on the first try as well. And then the damsels come over there just to try and keep out the way of a griffin over here. So that was that. No magic, because she's only got the auction stands. And then in the combat phase, I thought I'd start with the obvious easy one. That idiot, even though he's got re-rolls and whatever else, he only managed to kill between him and the pegs as one crew. Luckily, the crew didn't do anything back, and they did break. And they ran all the way. They ran a poultry. I don't know. Well, I can't remember what.
Three.
Three.
No, they rolled three
And
ones.
then he rolled 16, so he's gone right the way over there. Then this one here, like we said, it was an awkward one for Scott. Spearmen being quite low leadership. If they start fleeing, will you get them back or not? But I only done 2 kills, but with the rear 2 kills and a banner, Scott only had outnumber and a banner because he'd done nothing back, and you rolled really high again, didn't you? Nowhere near passing. He was down by 3, and then he barely rolled far, and I've rolled up to about 12, just up to there. So the Brets are pulling it back a bit. If Scott can have a bad turn like he did last with his shooting, he hasn't really got much magic left now, so we might be in a tiny bit of business, but we'll see. He still holds the middle, and that's a big 400 points, and I need the giant to do some very whiffing, but we shall see.
Turn 4 Empire. The giant charged the errants. You could just about see past them with the questing knights here, and I needed to try and reclaim the banner they've just snatched from my spearmen. Also, I thought, with no rerolls or anything coming my way anymore, I don't want to risk flubbing it on the questing knights and get chopped to bits. So until he's got some help, he's going to run on past, but they did easily outpace me. And then I failed to rally these guys, much to my annoyance. I failed to rally these guys, but that was a happier one because I didn't want them to disrupt my lines over here. They rallied. Sorry, spin them around, John. I forgot to do that in my turn.
Which way do you want? Straight back in?
Just straight back in, yeah. And that was it. Then what else? Yeah, this lot just sort of shuffled around here. The wizard got into this unit for some protection. Pistoliers moved up, and Johan came up to try and terror this young lady over here because he's a bit of a bully. Magic. The only thing I could see were the questing knights, who still got the banner, although that isn't a banner guy, but we did say John was keeping the banner, so he still gets his 3 extra dice, so he easily stopped my fireball. And then in the shooting phase, the cannon once again fell short of his target, failed to kill the Lord. I think it's failed to hit its target every single time now, but I suppose at least it didn't explode, so that's every silver lining. Over here, the Grail Knight absolutely tanked a bunch on his Blessing of the Lady. I think you had 3 saves to make on it.
No, only 2. I made 1 Blessing of the Lady save after he failed the normal one, and then on the Pistoliers, I've made 1 normal save. Didn't have to go to the Blessing.
Yeah, fair enough. But he did lose another errant from the handgunners in front of them. And that was about it. Not much else going on. Let's see if that terror move has paid off over here. No, she's good.
7, isn't she? She definitely.
Pretty sure she is.
I thought she'd be lower, would you?
No, she's a hero.
She's 7.
Yep, so she's all good. So we're on to Bretonnian's turn 4.
Not a lot I could do this turn other than a few obvious charges. So I didn't want my Pegasus Lord just going off the table, so I charged the handgunners with the Paladin. He was in plenty of range. They ran plenty off, and they've gone off the table, so that's where he's ended up. This Grail Knight here charged the cannon crew, to obviously get them out the way. And annoyingly, my Errant Knights never rallied, sadly, so they are still stuck there. Sorry, they're still stuck there. They fled to there. It was the best option. Me and Scott said where they would go to. Damsel has just, now she's past her terror. She's just going to play Harry Carry with the Griffin. If he wants to stay over there and do that, it's up to him. Pegasus Knight's come. Pegasus Knight, my Pegasus Lord, is flown back to there, so we can start surveying a bit around here. And my Question Knights turned and moved and wheeled to get to there, so they can stay out of range of the Griffin and obviously start heading towards stuff on the table that I need to kill. So a few fleas for Scott and a bit of moving for me, and that was it. So over to you, my friend. Turn 5 for the Empire.
Turn 5 Empire was about to be mediocre, but it's picked up. So the Giant and Johan over here have just played team up against the Knights over here, but couldn't get any charges this turn. The Pistoliers have come up to threaten this guy here. The Militia charged the Grail Knight. These have had to turn around because although those errants are fleeing, I don't want to risk them rallying and being a pain. They still do have one of my banners, so I do need to get it back off of them. And the handgunners here finally rallied. Cannon crew continue to flee. Magic, I cast my spell at the fireball spell, at the errants, and I got it off on a 9, but John used his last scroll to get rid of it, which is fair enough because I doubt there's much that magic's going to really affect later on in the game now. Shooting, this guy had 2 saves to make from the Pistoliers, but he passed them both, so he's all good. And these risked a long shot at the Questing Knights, but they were miles out. I did think they would be, but didn't have anything else to do. And then in the combat phase, I had 4 in combat. They had 2 attacks each because they've got double hand weapons. So I rolled dead average for my hits and got 4. Only rolled 1 wound.
Oh, and it's not your lady. It's not your lady, is it?
So John rolled a 1, and then he rolled a 3 for his ward. So not enough. And the Grail Knight has gone down, which has cost John a fair few points. So yeah, he's looking hard, but he does have some muscle over here and a couple of big targets over here. So we'll see if he can swing it around in turn 5. Got something to smile about now.
Big turn 5 for the Brets. We're back in it now. So charges were Guilliame went into Johan and rallies. We did rally the Knights Errant, so they are back in the game. Remaining moves: the Paladin reformed and the Question Knights reformed to face out. I think we both play Harry Carry with a Giant. If he wants to charge me, he can. If not, he's going to struggle to get out of the way of me, even though he probably still could. So that was that, and no magic because nothing was fleeing. I moved my damsel up just to watch her lover in action, and he had the Question Sword, which is no armor saves and is strength 6 on him. So I attacked Johan. I knew he had the Rune Fang, so I knew he wouldn't have any ward save. I done 3 hits, and then I done 3 wounds, and with no armor saves, that was poor old Johan, dead. And then, just for good measure, when the Griffin went to attack, the Pegasus kicked him right in the chops.
Yeah, and they did nothing back.
Yeah, and he done nothing back. He didn't like being kicked, and then we just ran him down out of spite as well. Just over Johan's body, poking him with his question.
Yeah, I might just be asleep. You don't know. Yeah. I'll do on the injury chart. Yeah, if I win the game, he's still okay.
If his giant stays alive, his giant might come and pick him up and save him again.
We have realised he's going to be a big one on the map, so make sure you tune into the map update because if John loses this game, then that's the Bretonians gone. But then Johan, if he dies, then that's the Empire gone. So we could lose 2 factions in one turn in one massively destructive, senseless battle. But we'll see. My last turn.
Yeah, mate.
Final turn for the Empire. I have cowered it out a little bit in that the Giant wasn't confident enough of killing all the Questing Knights. And even if if they held, he was going to get skewered by this scary guy over here. So I've made it so they can't fight me because I feel like I've got it in the bag if he stays alive. but it's not all gone my way. So the archers and the swordsmen charged the errants, who opted to hold. I killed one with the swordsman. Actually, no, with my wizard. My wizard smacked one off with his staff, but then the remaining two put all their attacks into the wizard and killed him. John then broke. These guys got the griffin banner, so they couldn't pursue, but thankfully the archers could, and they caught them because John rolled abysmally. I skipped ahead a bit. Sorry, I did have a little bit of shooting, and I did wound this paladin, but he passed his ward save on the final wound, so he's still hanging around and denying me any points from it. So it's more now just to see if John can get any more spiteful kills in just before the game ends. It was a quick turn 6, wasn't it, John?
Yeah, with you being a cowardly giant, the paladin just charged the militia. That was all I could do. Obviously, my general was only flying back on, and the questing knights couldn't see nothing. So that was that. I only managed to kill 2. Scott done nothing back, so it was a tied combat, and that was how it all finished up. If there wasn't the objective in the middle, this is ifs and buts. This is me granny had bollocks, should be me granddad. But if it wasn't for the objective in the middle, I think it'd be a draw because I've still got quite a lot of points left on the table.
Yeah, that me screwing up the spearman in the middle and giving away all of my wizards has probably not helped me.
Yeah, all your heroes are dead. Like I said, I've still got 3 heroes left, which are fairly pricey, and those questing knights are quite pricey as well.
Yeah, let's go total it up. We'll come back with a summary, and we'll have to see like how this has affected the campaign, because that'll be quite crucial. So we'll be back in a minute. Right, tallied it up.
Closer than what we thought, wasn't it?
It was.
Just about. You made the right call by ducking out the way with the giant at the end.
Dishonourable as it was.
Considering the first few turns, I'm very surprised it was that tight in the end.
I told you, this is me now. Let's see. If I'm winning too badly, then I start being sloppy. And like with the spearman, I knew it was the right move to flee, even if you hadn't have been quite in, that it still would have been.
Yeah,
it was a pointless risk really on my behalf. But I just thought if you are out, then that'll make you look silly. That would have been good, but your guessing is always good. So,
but in the end, it was you were at 800 points up before we started.
Yeah, because I had the BSB.
Yeah,
I got 2 banners.
700 points up. Sorry,
and then
obviously the objective.
And the objectives. Well,
yeah, so 700 points up. Scott was, and with the kills, you end up 1990, and then I was 14, so about 500 points. Like I said, pretty much a giant's points, which could have been a bit, which could have made it a bit iffy. But well done, sir.
Nicely done.
That actually didn't be a bad game in the end because I was, it was pretty, it was pretty bad. I'm very surprised those couple of models actually managed to. You think if that one Grail Knight would have survived the idiot on there?
That's so many points in the Grail Knights as well, and all he had to do
one
was
militia
not die because he.
His banner is a bit of a.
He probably have won that. He's got 2 attacks. Yeah. He's strength 4. They've got no armor.
That's a bit of a great sword one from last week. I don't think it's as good as the great sword, but it's still a little bit of one because if he had held on, and then the paladin might have been able to charge in. Again,
that's the issue with Grail Knights. They're so expensive. You lost so many to like
small arms, small arms magic and small arms shooting. I think I lost nearly all of them to it. I don't think there was any cannons or anything like that.
No, that's what influenced me not to bother to bring like Hellblasters, because I thought you'll get so much better saves rather than if I just have more to fight you when you get to me.
Hellblasters are a little bit iffy as well because, like I said, you're only ever going to get the strength 4 one at half shots. Because they're just beyond you. Yeah. You'd have to be stupid to be within 12 with Bretonians. But no, it was good. It was fun. And I quite enjoyed killing Johan at the end. So should we see what happens to poor old Johan?
Yeah, so just for anyone following the full campaign, the Bretonians are now out. They've had 3 losses, so they've been smashed. But because Johan was fatally wounded, he might be out as well, which could
Guilliame might have the last laugh.
Yeah, it might throw a spanner in the works, but that will actually benefit the High Elves because both of those factions have just been a pain in the ass for the High Elves. They've just been trashing their camp, stopping them from fighting the Dark Elves. So let's do that one quickly on camera.
You died with him. You roll it.
Just tell everyone what the bad rolls are.
Right, 1 is dead. 2 is maimed, so he's going to miss the next battle. 3 is... Sorry. 3 is he loses 1 weapon skill. 4 he loses 1 initiative. 5 he's all fine. 6 he's +1 leadership.
Right.
Oh,
he's back with a bang.
Back on leadership 10.
He's climbed. So last week he got rolled over by a chariot, and now he's just had like half his face cut off with a greatsword. And
he's definitely tainted with chaos. I don't care what anyone
No, it's
says.
the power of Sigmar.
Nah, it's definitely not Sigmar. I wouldn't have seen him that much.
Right, that is it. We'll do a nice map update.
Tell them what army we're bringing in.
So it was my choice this time because John chose the Orcs and Goblins last time. So I'll be bringing on Skaven up in the mountains somewhere. So John will do all the rolls on the campaign update video. But yeah, we thought some rats might throw a spanner in the work for the last 4 or 5 turns of the campaign. So this has been Scott and John for the Mercenary Miniature Painter YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. Do like, subscribe, comment on the videos if you like them, and don't comment if you don't.
It's our new motto.